Breathe a sigh of relief. You made it to Strongly Financial, a weekly live web series dedicated to elevating your financial literacy and cultivating your overall health and well-being. Your co-hosts are Dr. Michael A. Wright and Ali Leonard. Their respective expertise in holistic wellness and financial consulting positions them perfectly to guide you toward optimal well-being and unrivaled financial success. Please allow me to introduce them further. The incomparable Ali Leonard. As a credit guru, Mr. Leonard has dedicated himself to fostering financial literacy in students of all ages. He has developed a comprehensive credit awareness curriculum that is suitable for elementary, high school, and college students. Mr. Leonard has traveled the country, providing credit awareness seminars to high schools, colleges, churches, and private organizations. Mr. Leonard has worked tirelessly with federal credit agencies, financial services, and real estate agencies, earning a strong reputation for his professionalism and expertise. Mr. Leonard is committed to educating and training consumers as well as assisting them practically to fix their credit. The company he founded, Financial Services Unlimited, offers credit consultation, credit services, and financial services including insurance for financial repair and wealth management. Join his supportive online community, FSU team, empowering you to take control of your financial future. Dr. Michael A. Wright. Dr. Michael A. Wright is a highly accomplished and respected professional in the fields of social work, coaching, publishing, and consulting. With a wealth of experience and expertise, he has dedicated his career to helping individuals and organizations achieve their goals and make a positive impact in their communities. As the CEO and lead executive coach at MAWMedia Group, Dr. Wright specializes in helping individuals tell their stories and translate their ideas into capital. With interventions based on his signature contribution, creating opportunities and changing horizons, the coach method, he continues to focus on trauma-informed, holistic, and transformational approaches to personal and professional development. Join the vibrant online community at wealthcarebymoremedia.com, where he promotes practical habits of health in 4 key domains: brain, body, mind, and spirit. And I am your virtual host, Bartholomew Socrates. You can call me Bart. I introduce the ideas, the segments, and the opportunities as we explore the intersection of health and wealth weekly on Strongly Financial.
No mic. Can't hear you.
That's why.
Okay.
I know why you couldn't hear me though. That wasn't you. It wasn't on
okay.
you.
All right, perfect. Just want to make sure it wasn't on me.
Yeah.
How you
So
doing,
we
sir?
got the show. I'm doing pretty good. We're doing eating habits tonight and some more stuff about that type of thing. So you ready to get into this?
Hey, I was born ready.
Born ready? Did you get to see the intro this time?
Yes, I did. I love Bart,
And
man. Bart is
right?
yeah,
Bart is
Bart
just
is
doing
it.
his thing. I'm loving
Yes.
that.
Main
All
man.
right. So without further ado, Bart is going to introduce our first segment this week. Again, we got two sponsors this week. Actually, a total of 3, because FSU is sponsoring the third segment. Our second segment is sponsored by CoachMethod.com, which is launching a rebrand in 3 days. Your rebranding for FSU is already launched. Is that right?
Yes. Thanks to you.
Yeah, I thought, because the site is like expanded and pretty cool. So we can talk a little bit about that a little later. And then our first segment, this segment coming up, is sponsored by MotivatorLifestyle.com with a new brand. You can see my website and the MAWMedia group website to see the new design, or of course, just go to MotivatorLifestyle.com. So let's begin. Bart, take us away with timely tips.
Timely tips. When it comes to achieving optimal health and wellness, a strong foundation is essential. This foundation begins with thoughtful meal planning, centered around filling your plate with an abundance of nutrient-rich foods. By incorporating vegetables, fruits, whole grains, dairy, fish, and lean meats into your diet, you're providing your body with a wide array of essential vitamins, minerals, fiber, and protein. These nutrient-rich foods lay the groundwork for a well-balanced and nourishing lifestyle. They support your overall health, boost your immune system, and can even help prevent chronic diseases. With a focus on these wholesome options, you can fuel your body with the building blocks it needs to thrive. Furthermore, convenience can still align with healthy choices. Stocking up on frozen fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins like chicken, ground turkey, or wild-caught salmon offers both convenience and nutritional value. These frozen options are often just as nutritious as their fresh counterparts and can provide a practical solution in busy lifestyles. By building your meals around these foundational foods and incorporating the convenience of frozen options, you can create a healthy and sustainable eating plan that nourishes your body and supports your overall well-being. Let's embark on this journey together to fuel your body and achieve your health goals.
I think I like that little lead in at the end. So as you heard Bart talk about this idea, the timely tips are going to start with this idea of eating healthy as a way to also make sure that your finances, everyone always talks about that your finances are intact. They always talk about the eating healthy costs a lot of money, or they always equate the costing a lot of money with the cost of your healthcare later. But we're not even going in that direction tonight, Ali. that's the thing that I want to talk about, is how you actually do a lot more financial good with this word that no one likes, planning. And so we're talking about the grocery list and then also the meal planning. Let's tackle this grocery list planning thing first. What's your advice that you kind of see your clients coming up with and needing when it comes to just grocery shopping?
Well, it's all about, like you said, it's still about planning. It's about discipline. It's about making a list before you go to the store for the things that you are there for. One of the biggest mistakes, and we all do it, when you go to the store without a list and you haven't eaten, now you're buying a lot of junk that you really don't need, but because of your appetite or lack of it, you have a tendency to overspend, and that's kind of taken away from our budget.
The funny thing for me is when people, and like you said, we all do this.
Yes.
When you go to the grocery store, you spend $200 on groceries, and then you go out to eat. Like,
that's crazy. Yes.
What? Like, come on now. we do it. I don't do it anymore. I'm gonna tell you that. I don't do it anymore. But I remember those days. I remember that feeling. Because you're out already. I mean,
right. I mean, and if you think about it, I mean, that's a double edged sword. You know, you spend this $200 at the store. Don't feel like cooking and not gonna cook. I gotta take for something going out, so I'll go and spend another $50. And then we always say that we don't have enough. If we focus on our spending plan and preparing to go to the store, just like we are preparing to pay our bills on time, or being disciplined, staying within our means, all that really falls under the same umbrella, even though we try to separate that piece of it. But I like the point you made earlier about it's either you can pay me now or you can pay me later.
Yeah.
When people talk about the expense of how the healthy food is, it is a little bit higher, but look at what you're going to save down the road with your health. It doesn't matter how much money you got. If you don't have the health to enjoy it, I mean, it's a lot of millionaires, individuals who would trade their health in for the money that they have.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of people have heard that TikTok video, and it's been recycled, a lot of viral video where a guy says, you probably think you want $1 million and that's the most important thing. But if I offered you $1 million and I said you have to die tomorrow, would you take the $1 million?
Right.
Well, health is more important then.
Right.
If
it
you're
is.
going to take
$1
million, right? And it really is. I really like that point about making sure that you don't go out and spend that extra money of planning. And the timely tip for that in my mind is when you do your grocery shopping and you plan your shopping, plan it in the context of meals and include the meal after shopping. So if you like lasagna, for example, pick up a frozen lasagna so that then you can pop that in the oven when you get home. And there you go. There's your eating out. Because we always, at least I used to think, well, I don't want to get home and have to wait an hour. Well, you can drive to the restaurant, sit there and order. They're going to cook it. It's still going to be time, maybe an hour.
Exactly.
That you wait for your food. This way, you're just doing it in the context of spending $20 in your grocery budget, as opposed to having to dip into your eating out budget,
right,
while that food sits in the trunk, right?
Exactly.
So that brings me to that next point about the meal planning. And I don't know how much you do with this, Ali, but so you go to the grocery store, you have your mailing list. That's something I know that's typical. I know you have those conversations. Do you talk about the meal planning, like actually setting up a plan for meals?
I don't necessarily just do something for them on paper for them, but I do put the ideal into their minds about healthy eating, and preparing meals that they can eat over 1 or 2 days, 3 days.
And I know the thing that you do talk about because I've heard you scold people about going without lunch and making sure that they don't end up spending, $15 a day on lunch instead of packing their lunch or planning their meals other ways or things like that. I know you scolded people on that, and rightly so, because that's one of those drains where, well, man, I gotta eat. Dr. Wright, I gotta eat. Yeah, you gotta eat, but you also need to then prepare for being hungry. Don't just act like in the morning you weren't hungry, so therefore
before you left
11 or 12, you're gonna be hungry. So
you're gonna be hungry. You're gonna be hungry. And even if you do something on the breakfast side at home, that can really carry you through lunch. It depends on how much you eat, of course, but it's simple. Take a lunch with you. I mean, and if you spend, I'll say $20, because restaurants are higher, even fast food. $20 a day, 5 days. That's $100 a week. That's $400 a month. That's just lunch. We ain't talked about the Starbucks coffee you got to have in the morning, or whatever breakfast croissant you got to have, and dinner that you're gonna have to go out and get. That's just one meal, which is gonna cost you $400. So I mean, if you're really looking at, and then a lot of times when you're going out to eat, you're not going to get nothing healthy. It's going to be fast food, McDonald's, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, I mean, things like that. So most of us are not going to get salads, which is better for us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it all has to be in your curriculum as far as my mindset. I got to eat better. I got to do better financially. I got to spend less. I got to save more. I got to invest more. I got to retain. So that's all a part of the plan.
Yeah, and specifically that, like, I think of the person who recognizes that their weight is not in the control range that they want. And here you are, not planning for your meals, not planning for your lunch. You're eating the fast food. And even though the healthy options are slated as healthy because they're not maybe deep fried, they still have carbs. And if you are working with a nutritionist or you're working with a personal trainer, they're trying to get you on specific items to eat, because just like with your finances, they're recognizing what that does to your body in the context of the lifestyle that you have. So it's a whole plan of keeping you on track. And I always tell people, there's your high cost is that $400 in lunch, or even $200 in lunch per month. And I also, I'm speaking to my sister, especially the Starbucks queen. She famously was visiting, and I'm telling on her because she can't beat me. But she came out here, and I'm like, girl, you in California? What you want to do? Let's do this. She like, where the Starbucks at? I'm like, whoa, dude, you're down right now. Where's the Staples Center, or where's the Forum, the old Forum? Where's the new stadium? No, she's looking for the Starbucks.
Wow.
And if you didn't bug me for Starbucks every day, I would not be telling the truth.
Wow.
But that's, I would say to her or anyone else, for the money you spend on Starbucks, you can buy you a cappuccino espresso machine that will like do for you. You can have those lattes and those macchiatos like all day for less cost.
Yep.
But anyway, we'll leave that alone because folks love their Starbucks.
She gonna get you.
The last, yeah, she gonna give me, but like I said, I'll just outrun her. You know how it is. You know, younger sibling. Maybe at some point she'll be able to beat me, but I don't know.
Not right now. Right. Not right now.
I'm gonna hold out hope. But the last thing, I disagree with Bart on this point. You tell me what you think. He talked about the frozen foods, the frozen fruits and vegetables. And I say to people, always buy fresh, because buying fresh is a part of your whole meal planning. If you shop and you plan your meals, buying fresh is going to allow you to maybe buy in more bulk, and then you can freeze that.
Right.
So I sometimes go in that realm, but if you don't have really the timing and your fresh food is always going bad, that's when I say, okay, Bart, okay, I'll go along with you. Frozen is good.
Right.
If you're letting the stuff go bad.
Well, and I would have to agree with you as well. I mean, we always look at fresh first. Now, if we buy it fresh and it's too much, then in certain items, you can freeze and continue to to use. But we waste a lot of money on when we do go to the grocery store buying items that we don't eat.
Mm-hmm. Just like
and have to throw it.
We don't wear.
Right, and we have to throw away. So you're really just wasting money once again because you're buying this food, and a lot of times if you don't have a list, you're gonna overspend. I'm telling you, and it's going to be items that you know that you need to be eating, but you don't really like to eat. So, or you buy too much of that, and you end up throwing stuff away every week, and that's money that could be allocated somewhere else. But it still goes down to planning, and discipline is really the key to all of this. It really is.
Definitely. And we're going to hit that on the next segment, the discipline in the best practices on meal planning. And we're going to hit exactly that topic that you just said, what you should be eating. So,
right.
What okay. Your financial success. So we'll get into it in a minute. Before we get into our second segment, of course, we got Bart coming up to explain what the second segment is about. But our sponsor for the second segment is CoachMethod.com, which is relaunching. And the cool thing about Coach Method, the intervention that I created, which is the holistic intervention for your trauma-informed come up. It's relaunching. All of the inspirational and trauma-informed trainings are going to move from EduMaw. If you are a fan, you know that everything was on that site. It was on the educational site. EduMaw is going to be relaunched later next month as only Train the Trainers, faculty and teacher training site. So only those types of things are going to be on that site. On the CoachMethod.com site, we're going to have all of this inspirational and coaching-based trauma-informed training, and as well as additional trainers. And Ali, I know you're going to be launching a training that's going to be posted there. I've got a couple of EMDR counselors who are coming in, and hopefully multiple social workers. So CoachMethod.com, thanks for your sponsorship of segment 2, best practices. Bart, take it away.
Best practices. Meal planning is a powerful tool for achieving nutritional goals while maintaining efficiency and reducing food waste. By taking a proactive approach to meal planning, you can ensure that your meals are well balanced, satisfying, and aligned with your dietary needs. To effectively plan your meals, start by carefully considering the composition of each dish. Aim for a balance of macronutrients, including proteins, carbohydrates, and healthy fats, as well as a variety of colorful fruits and vegetables. This ensures that your body receives the essential nutrients it needs to thrive. Once you've planned your meals, create a detailed shopping list that includes all the ingredients you'll need. By sticking to this list, you can avoid impulsive purchases and stay focused on your health goals. This also helps streamline your shopping experience and saves you time and money. It's also important to stay mindful of the expiration dates of the groceries you purchase. Understanding the duration of the food you have allows you to plan for freezing if necessary. Freezing certain items, such as meat, fruits, and vegetables, can help extend their shelf life and preserve their nutritional value. By incorporating these practices into your routine, you'll be able to optimize your meal planning process, maintain a balanced diet, and make the most of your grocery shopping efforts. With a little planning and organization, you'll be on your way to enjoying nutritious meals that support your overall well-being.
I'm smiling because I feel like it's getting better. It's getting better. I just about know what I'm doing now.
You're doing well.
Yeah.
Doing well,
this is the thing. So there are a couple of bombshells that I'm about to drop, and I mean, people are gonna go with me or they're not. And I'm relying on you, Ali, to give me the backup for this.
Oh Lord.
Right? Look, because we about to get jumped, and I need you to fight, bro. I need you to fight.
Let's do it.
But the big thing, I think a lot of us go into the whole meal planning with resistance to what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Because I'm a person who could literally live off tea, morning tea, and oatmeal, which has raisins and walnuts in it.
Right.
And then I'm pretty sure I'm gonna want some chicken and maybe some spinach, some greens, at some point, like some collards or maybe some kale, something like that in my dinner. But that's it. And I think this is the point I'm trying to make. We sometimes have these elaborate ideas of what it is to shop for groceries or to eat. And we're eating for this type of enjoyment. But a lot of times what that means, either because we don't know how to cook it, or we only know how to cook it the unhealthy way, or because we overcook when we cook. We don't know how to cook for like one person or two people. We always cook for 8. We fill our plate. You know what I'm saying? Like take a breath for a minute and slow down. Look at what you could be eating that's nutritious and simple. Even if you say, I'm going to get bored of that. Okay, but let's plan for this month to just slow down and back up the list. So the list isn't 20 things.
Right.
The list is only 4 things, 5 things. And I think just as an exercise, best practices, I think that's a good way to start changing what you always talk about, changing the mindset.
And for me, I mean, this hits home because, I was not a healthy eater at one point. and my wife, who she eats healthy, and she buys only organic, and I'm like, okay, what's on sale? And everything does not equal each other. So, but the thing about it is, initially, if you're trying to force it on someone, if you're trying to make a whole transition in 2 weeks or 1 month, it's going to be more difficult to do that. You have to take your time, like you said. Instead of, you started with 4 items, 5 items, this on this list, and then increase it to 10. Instead of saying, okay, we got to go from 0 to 100, and it's going to be more difficult for people. Now it's going to be more resistance that's going to be there as well.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't make people only eat oatmeal just because I can do it.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm telling you that's the it's not the restrictive mindset. It's the building it, like you said, like building it slowly. So number one, like we will probably say every week, you need to know where your money is going.
Right.
And then you also must recognize that it can be reduced in different areas if you just change your frame of things. The other thing that I forgot to mention about my diet is dried beans.
Oh, yes.
Because dried beans are just so inexpensive. You can cook a bunch of them. They save very well, yes. And you can eat off of them for days. Again, right. Some people are going to be like, okay, but Dr. Wright, I ain't trying to do all that. And beans, I don't even like. Okay, I hear you.
Right.
But you're wrong. You need to get with the beans. Get with the bean program.
Well, and it's like anything that we're not comfortable with, or anything that we, kind of resist initially, like the spending plan. Even with your achieving financial freedom, that doesn't happen overnight. That takes time, takes planning, it takes discipline, it takes a change of your mindset, and you gradually get to that point. It's nothing different. I mean, it's no different than meal planning or eating healthy. You got to start somewhere. You can't just say, okay, I'm going from here to here. No, I'm going to start today, and I'm going to gradually get to where I need to be on eating healthy, exercising, sprinkling that part in there as well, and doing the things that are going to be beneficial to me, not only now, but especially down the road.
Exactly. And Sharifa talks about this. She said try intermittent fasting.
Yes. We do that.
As a way to help for weight loss. And then I like the second point she made about, and that's your wife, by the way. That's
yes.
you get your input right in real time. But for some reason, people told us we had to eat 3 times a day, and that's just not true. Right? So there's different ways your metabolism works, and
right,
and how building in that health in the context of building wealth. It's just critical for you to sit down, and I say I like the intermittent fasting because that's what I'm saying with just take a break, like
right.
Being hungry for a minute and think.
It's okay.
And if you have to do it after a meal, okay, then I don't just take a moment and think. Now, I'm sure Sharifa would remind us that the energy, the blood is flowing to your stomach after a meal, not to your brain. So
right.
Why you should fast and then think while you're fasting. But anyway, that is a really valid point about making sure that we understand how we're putting these pieces together, so we're tracking where our money is going.
Yes.
Thank you for that, Ali. So we are set into some ideas here about best practices. We always want to give you a list to think about. So Ali, jump in on any of these if you want to.
Okay.
We'll keep them going. Plan your meals. We've already talked about that.
Yes.
And we're this segment, we're not just talking about the meal planning in general, but we're talking about the types of things you're putting on your list and the types of things you're eating. Sharifa even said, okay, why are you trying to eat 3 times a day? That's not even required. So how are you mapping that whole thing out? I also suggest that people make sure that their meals are balanced. One of the things that I think people don't spend money on that they should is a good multivitamin. And you've got to look at, again, your metabolism, what your prescriptions say that you need, what your doctor would say. But a good multivitamin, if the good thing about the body is it will expel what it doesn't need, but my goodness, it's going to latch on to what it needs.
Yes.
And that's what's really important for you.
Yes.
And of course, in that, always with vitamins and any kind of supplements, make sure you drink a lot of water, especially for my ladies out there taking iron supplements. Please drink a lot of water. Yes. And then, of course, we've already talked about making a shopping list. Make sure you put on that shopping list what you need. Make sure that it makes sense, including tonight's dinner. So make sure you're not just shopping for things, but you're shopping according to meals.
Right.
And of course, this you would hope that this goes without saying, but I decided that we needed to say it. Stick to the list. Now, come on.
That's the hardest part.
And go out there and buy 15.
Yeah.
Make sure that you stick to the list.
Right. Yeah. But you got to have a list to be able to stick to it.
Got to have a list to start with, right?
Right. Yes.
And then know the duration of your food. One of the things that my best friend got me hooked on is putting breads in the refrigerator. And for those of you who have breads, who aren't on a low carb diet, who have breads, when I was young, we left that on the counter. Right. And I've done that throughout my whole adult life. And you lose that over 2 weeks, right? You can't, it's going to mold in 2 weeks. But if you put it in the refrigerator, it actually lasts longer.
Yes.
So
it does.
That's something that I picked up on, especially for those of you who do eat bread. So you're wasting less bread with that and saving money.
Yes.
And then the last point I wanted to make was, in this preparation, the point isn't to restrict you. The point is that you actually enjoy the experience of your food as it's intended, to fuel your body and to support your overall goals, whether it's, your nutrition, your overall health, the shape of your body and those types of things. These fueling what you need for your mental space, all of this goes toward that end, not just restricting you or, not eating pie, that type of thing. No, all about holistic health.
It is. And people don't understand that level of it. They think that anything that's going to be good for me in the long run is going to be difficult for me to achieve. Whether it be food, whether it be finances, whether it be, your goals, your vision, it's one step at a time. But you got to put the effort to start. And be disciplined on this journey.
Definitely. Well, that is segment number 2. We're moving to segment 3, and the sponsor for segment number 3 is FSU, Financial Services Unlimited. The big thing on the horizon for FSU, Ali.
You broke up, Mike. Say that one more time.
What's the big thing on the horizon for FSU? What are you getting into? I know the curriculum is getting ready. Like I said earlier, the launch of the online training that you'll be doing. What else going on with you guys?
Well, I mean, we still are promoting our new book that is out, Creative Awareness, the lesson that we were never taught, the 2nd edition. And right now we're pivoting to focus more on the educational platform from FSU. And one of the things that we're looking to put together that we've done in the past is to focus on a financial literacy and credit awareness curriculum that's going to concentrate for high schools. And then we're looking to get into the HBCU schools to offer not only our curriculum, but to come in and do a credit awareness and financial literacy seminar tour. So those who support HBCUs, who went to HBCUs, look for FSU to be in your city and town somewhere in the near future. That's our focus right now. But don't stop there. I mean, we got some other things that we're looking to also to launch, but we don't want to give too much to you too much. But another thing that we've looked on doing for 2024 is we've added FSU Insurance Group. And our focus is really on that with doing, the right type of life insurance policies, doing retirement planning, just kind of making sure that individuals are planning for their futures, children, grandchildren, and building, generational wealth. That is a piece that we've been missing for a long time, and we need to kind of concentrate and focus on that, so we don't have to. Each generation doesn't have to start from scratch. That we're leaving them a solid foundation, and one of the ways of doing that is through life insurance and cash value saving. They call it infinite banking right now. So I'm basically controlling your money.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, that's some good stuff. See,
Yes.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. All right, so we're gonna work into some more of that. Thank you, FSU, for your sponsorship of segment number 3. You know who's coming? My boy Bart.
Bring it on,
Take
Bart.
it away, Bart.
Teachable moment. Ensuring balanced meals, efficient shopping, and minimizing food waste are not only practical considerations, but also deeply intertwined with our emotions and well-being. Food holds immense significance in our lives, beyond mere sustenance. It can serve as a source of comfort, security, and even a coping mechanism for stress. The desire for balanced meals stems from a genuine concern for our health and nourishment. When we prioritize balanced eating, we are acknowledging the impact of nutrition on our overall well-being. Ensuring that our plates are filled with a variety of vitamins, minerals, and macronutrients can evoke a sense of empowerment, as we actively take charge of our health journey. Efficient shopping, on the other hand, requires discipline and careful planning. It can elicit feelings of control and satisfaction, knowing that we are making informed choices and optimizing our resources. By adhering to a shopping list and avoiding impulse buying, we not only save money but also experience a sense of accomplishment in our financial management. Minimizing food waste can evoke both guilt and responsibility. Recognizing that we live in a world where millions suffer from hunger, reducing waste becomes an act of empathy and compassion. By embracing strategies like meal planning, proper storage, and repurposing leftovers, we can alleviate these emotions and contribute to a more sustainable food system.
Okay, hold up. Did I or did I not just hear Bart say the smart version of children over in Africa are starving?
Yes.
I think he just did a Black Mother moment. Like if that was not cool, Bart. That was not
Right.
cool.
Right.
But anyway, I heard what he's saying. I heard what he's trying to say.
Trying to say, yes.
That right, that we really need to get in. I like Sharifa's comment. You got some wisdom over there, Ali. I didn't know she was into all of this. So you educated me tonight, just the health stuff that she's into. I think the teachable moment, well, and of course the teachable moment is always about what you always talk about, Ali, changing your mindset. And so helping people to, okay, what is the emotional barrier to me changing my mindset? And I like what Sharifa said, this cognitive shift we can make if we just look at our different days as days to do certain things with our meals. Like she said, slow cooker Sunday, meatless Mondays, taco Tuesday, Wednesday, wing night. That sounds really good. Thursday, healthy homemade takeout. Friday is fish and seafood. Saturday is leftover clean out in the fridge night. And that one, my friend, that's what got me.
That's big.
Right? Because that's one of those, like, if you grew up in a Black family, especially, or here's the cool thing, if you grew up in a poor family, because I know different cultures, different ethnicities that understand how to make really good food out of very little ingredients.
Yes.
Right? Cornmeal, and somehow you come up with something delicious. Hot water cornbread. Like what? Like what? Anyway, but you can also, you probably learned, if you learned how to cook in those households, you learned how to take leftovers and spice them up to where it's a new meal, and often I would say better than the original meal.
Yes.
Right.
The second time around is better. Yes.
Exactly. And in that vein, I just want to bring up another thing that maybe people have trouble with. Like, I'm gonna be the bad guy tonight because I'm the type of person who this is the easiest thing for me. We'll talk about some other episodes. We'll talk about stuff that's hard for me, but eating is so easy for me because I will cook a pot of chili on Sunday and I'm done for the week. Because that's got my lunch. That's got my dinner. Don't you get bored eating that? No, I don't. Especially some good 3-bean chili.
Yes.
You know, you can spice it up with some cheese on Tuesday night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same meal, but you just kind of play with it throughout the week. But those types of strategies can help you to shift how you're thinking about it and make it more of a game. And that's, I know one of the things that you talk to people about a lot is how to compete with yourself on gains month to month, whether it be with your credit or whether it be with your shopping and your spending plan. But every month you get better, you're challenging and competing with yourself, just like a game. We call it gamification of behavior change.
Well, and I mean, it really is a game. And how well you play the game is how well did you know the rules. And most of us in each of these categories, we don't really understand the rules or the benefits that's going to come out of it if we be consistent with it. The hardest part of any of this, especially eating habits, is to start. But I got to have an open mind to be able to do that. If I'm just, no, I can't do this, I ain't going to do this, then of course you ain't going to do it, and you can't do it. So it first starts with us and in our mindset to be open, to be able to try, new dishes and experiment a little bit, because we don't know if we like it or don't like it. We're just doing that based on history and what people might say or about this certain item. or dish without even trying it. So we have to be open-minded for that. And once you get into it, it's really life-changing. And a lot of people are, once they do make this shift, mentally shift, and it starts affecting them emotionally and physically and financially, then they would be like, I should have started this, years ago. And stop the fear of this is not going to work for me. And I have a different body type. And I mean, all this should be out the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just out the door. Cause I couldn't get my grandma to go along with me.
No.
She was, I mean, she got to the point with me where she would just not tell me the truth. And she would have the church bring her a plate. And when I would ask her, what did you eat all day? She would mention what was on that plate. And I knew what was on that plate. Some pork ribs, some baked beans with ham in it, anyway. But what I said to my grandma, I think is really apropos for everyone. I said, Grandma, you don't have to stop eating the things that you love, but let's see how you can mix in healthier options.
Right.
Just to the point that you said. And my grandma, I would say she loved me enough that she tried some different things. And one of the things that she tried was, instead of in her greens, she stopped putting ham hocks.
Mm-hmm.
And she started putting turkey necks.
Yes.
And we could talk for a couple hours on the nutritional differences between the two and other things, especially if you're in a situation where you're not wanting to eat pork.
Right.
But the flavoring was what she wanted. And she started to recognize she could flavor things differently than how she grew up flavoring them.
Right.
For those of you who grew up in a Southern household, you know what fatback is, and salt pork, and hog-headed cheese, and we eat these things because of the flavor, but you don't realize a lot of it is just the sodium content.
Yep.
That's really what we're trying to get.
Right.
So you can get turkey chops instead of pork chops. And the way that you season them and cook them in an air fryer is going to be not only healthier, but actually it's going to be tastier.
Yes.
Because we're going to figure out, I'm not just going to help you to figure out how to, use less Lowry seasoned salt. No, I'm going to help you to understand that what is it called? The Colonel's original recipe. Herbs and spices. What he's basically saying is he went into his pantry and he got the Lowry's out, but he also got the oregano, the basil, the sage, the coriander, and he put those together in a mix that was really tasty. That's how you can actually lower your salt, but also enhance the flavors.
Right.
So I mean, we really can do, if we have what you said, an open mind. The information is out there, the opportunity is out there to cook healthier, to cook smarter in terms of financially, but then also to enjoy the stuff, to have really good flavors.
Right. I mean, and eating healthy and having a spending plan is not really to punish you. You know what I'm saying? You can still enjoy the finer things in life, but you have to enjoy them on a smaller scale until you get to a level to where you can enjoy them more frequently. And
that reminds me of the whole eating beans thing. Like, because I've said this to clients, it's a question of how long you can eat the beans. I don't want it to be a question of whether you can't eat the beans. Let's say how long you can eat the beans.
Right.
If you can only eat beans one night a month, if you can eat them for a week, if you can, whatever that low cost intervention is that we're proposing, Ali,
right?
How long can you do that? Because as long as you can do it, even if it's one day a week or if it's one night, if you can pack your lunch for 2 weeks out of the month, you are going to make a sea change in your opportunities, because you're reclaiming that money, but you're also giving your mind a chance to reset.
Right.
You know, maybe I don't need this the way that I was always used to getting it.
Exactly.
And that leads to a lot of changes.
I mean, I definitely agree 100%. And we're not suggesting, like you said, that you make a 0 to 100 degree change overnight. You know what I'm saying? Just implement this gradually, a day here, a day there. And the more you do that, those days are going to turn into weeks. Those weeks are going to turn into months. And you know, you'll look back and say, hey, I'm glad I started, because if I wouldn't have never started, I would never be where I am now. Period.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I think that is good advice. And we should really be thinking of how we'll have Bart take us out at the end of our shows. That's what I'm going to work on for next week's show.
Okay.
Just to recap our teachable moment, we talked about this kind of early in the show, taking a moment. So really, in changing your mindset, taking that moment to deep breathe and center yourself, look at what your goals are financially and health-wise, what you're looking at eating, how you want your physical and your stamina to be, and what foods and stress levels related to finance fit with that. Having that time for mindful reflection in those areas. Here's my big thing, Ali. People need to educate themselves. Go read something about this stuff. Like there's not only one way to do things, and connect with people like Ali and like me who can give you a sounding board for processing these things. And apparently Sharifa too, because she has ideas. Talk to people, go read on the internet and that type of thing, and then create what I call a practical plan. Like a plan that you can actually work with, that you can be happy with, that just like you said, Ali, it doesn't feel restrictive or like punishment. But it feels like something you can stick to consistently over time to reach those goals.
Yes.
That's good stuff, bro.
Very important. Very important.
All right. So we're signing off on this evening's show. Appreciate you as always, Ali.
Yes.
And we'll see him next week.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, bro.
Appreciate you.